This is fundamentally supposed to be, anyway, a counter-radicalisation programme, if indeed it emerges that money has been given to people who support the Taliban, who have welcomed extremist preachers into mosques, who believe that members of our armed forces who are Muslim should refuse orders, who think that militant Islamist groups are prescribed in the UK as legitimate resistance groups, and those are facts. If they are facts and they turn out to be facts, then the only solution that I can conclude as to why that wouldn't be published and why that wouldn't be outlined in this report is because, as a source close to Mr Shawcross, the author of this report, says, Home Office officials are terrified of looking like they are picking on Muslims. But fact shouldn't get in the way of anything, should they?
Well, they certainly shouldn't. I mean, that's a more benign interpretation than the one I'm inclined to. They say that they're frightened of Islamophobia. That it may be true, but what's very odd here is that Prevent, which is set up deliberately to deal with global Islamic terrorism in this country, has decided to put the larger proportion of its energies into looking into right-wing extremism. Now, all extremism and terrorism is terrible. It's inhumane and diabolical. It's awful. But it's a fact. You can Google it, that in the last 40 years, 40% of the casualties across the world have been at the hands of...
Can I just localise that, Gavin, a bit as well? And it's a good point you've made. I just want to really drill down onto this, because I happen to have some numbers in front of me here. The total number of Islamist terror attacks and deaths since 2005 in the UK, 13 attacks, 106 people killed. The total number of far-right terror attacks and deaths since 2005 in the UK, 3 attacks, 3 killed. 35 times more people have been killed by Islamist attacks than far-right attacks in the UK since 2005. Do you find it slightly perplexing, then, that a report will choose to focus on the far-right issue?
Well, I'm not perplexed. I'm worried it's more serious than that, because what you've just described actually is represented across the world. It's nice to know that the balance of terrorism in our country is roughly proportionate to across the world, where you find this great predominance. I mean, you describe me as an Anglican, but I'm a Catholic now, and I have a number of friends who are Catholic bishops in Nigeria, and the devastating murder that's taking place by Islamic tribesmen in Nigeria against Catholic communities is appalling, and no one takes any notice of it. The idea that in our country, where we have people calling for a fifth columnist Islamic group to be set up privately and secretly, and they want to go and look at right-wing terrorism and spend the majority of their resources doing that, it doesn't suggest it's incompetence. It suggests it's strategic. And if it's strategic, that suggests prejudice. And if it's prejudice, we need to expose it for what it is and hold them accountable for it.